in the middle of struggle and murder. They came to Washington to demand that the federal government give them a Civil Rights Act and voting rights. They marched that day in a hot, blistering day like today, saying that as we struggle, we need legislation. And they stayed on that movement until they got the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965.
Yep.
They came young and old. They came from the South. Many of them couldn't stop on the road to use a bathroom because it was against the law. But they came anyhow. Many of them
We got some
couldn't
guy in
stop
the
to
people in the
eat
house.
the restaurant.
Yeah, guy in
They
the
had to
house.
put their sandwiches in a paper bag. Because no restaurant would serve them because it was against the law. But they came anyhow. Many of them couldn't rest in a motel overnight. But they came anyway.
With the water was the
Because it was against the law for them to stop. Because they came in '63, we were able to come back in 2020. Ride wherever we want to ride, stay wherever hotel was available. They opened the door for us, but there's still some doors we have to open and some people we've got to straighten out. 2020. We must deal with police brutality. 2020, we must deal with those that want to rob our right to vote. And even though we're here in the midst of a pandemic, social distance spread out. We want to come to show with our bodies that enough is enough. When I was headed to George Floyd's funeral, I talked with Martin III, and I said, you know, maybe we go back to Washington. He said, well, let's talk it out, Brother Al. As I was giving the eulogy, I announced this march. We didn't know how we were going to do it, how we were going to plan it, how many would come.
Excuse me.
But we did it. One of the leading minds of our nation, Dr. Michael Derrick Dyson, and he told me that, Reverend Al, you've got to understand that until there's federal legislation, every state will do what it wants to do. We have passed in the House of Representatives the George Floyd Policing and Justice Act. Now we need to pass that act in the Senate. We need Mitch McConnell and the U.S. Senate to meet on the George Floyd Policing and Justice Act. And we want to use Senate control in your world.
free.
He was with us, John Lewis. He and Reverend Hosea Williams and Amelia Boynton were beaten on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, tear gas, that led to the self of the Montgomery March. They got us the right to vote. And that right lasted till 2013 when they took and gutted out the middle of that bill, taking away
T-shirts too.
the map. When we come to Washington, saying how do you memorialize John Lewis and allow the bill that he stood for us to die? We want the John Lewis voting rights bill for the demonstration without legislation will not give you change. We didn't come out and stand in this heat because we had nothing to do. We come to let you know if we will come out by these numbers in the heat and stand in the heat, and we will stand in the cold all day long. Telling me about how it's a shame that black parents have to have the conversation with our children. How we have to explain that when cops stop you, don't reach for the gun bar. Don't talk back. The conversation. But we've had the conversation for decades. It's time we have a conversation with America. We need to have a
I don't even know what this is. I don't even know what it is, but I like it.
It is a thing. It is a thing.
while we scream out, can't breathe, and let the time. It's time for a new conversation. I wonder why. I asked the doctor, why did they have the march at Lincoln Memorial? Why did they go to the Jefferson Memorial? Why didn't they go to the Washington Monument? And he told me, you gotta understand, Reverend Al, 100 years before 63, 1963 was 1863. 1863, Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. He promised us full citizenship if we fought to save the Union. He promised us 48% union. We never got the full citizenship. We never got the reparation. We come to Lincoln because we promised Mr. Lincoln. And the promise has been broken. And we come like Dr. King came 57 years ago to say we're tired of broken promises.
That's right.
Some say to me, Reverend Earl, y'all ought to denounce those that get violent, those that are looting. All of the families have denounced looting. What we haven't heard is you denounce shooting.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
We will speak against the looting.
That's right.
But when will you speak against wrong police shooting? I remember Reverend Dr. Y.T. Walker sat Reverend W. Franklin Richardson, who spoke today, and sat us down and said that after the Montgomery boycott, and they had gone to Albany, Georgia, and the movement stalled because in Albany they treated them with a certain kindness. They said they wanted to find someone that would demonstrate the raw disregard for rights. And as they did, they went all over the South. And Reverend Fred Shuttlesworth told them to come to Birmingham because there was a police chief there named Bull Connor. And Bull Connor would act in an insensitive and brutal way. Well, in 1963 and 1964, they fought Bull Connor. Here we are in 2020. We've gone from Bull Connor to Bull Trump. We've gone from a mean-spirited sheriff to a mean-spirited president whose lips drink with the words of interposition and nullification. We do not want to be disrespected. How do you speak while this young man, Jacob, lies in a hospital and you won't call his name? How do you sit while Breonna Taylor's in a grave and you won't call her name? How do you sit while Ed Brown is in the grave and you won't call his name? How do you sit while George Floyd is laying in the grave and you won't call his name? Well, Mr. Trump, look right down the block from the White House. We come to Washington by the thousands. We gonna call their name. We gonna call their name. We'll never let America forget what you've done. Call their name. This is the time. This is the time for legislative change. This is the time for us to vote like we never voted before. And don't just vote for the top of the ticket. Vote all the way down. Go down from the top to the bottom. Vote all the way to the dog catcher. We want to get rid of anybody that's in our way. Because our parents died to give us the right to vote. You can mess with the mail, but it ain't the sacrifice that Goodman and Cheney and Swearney gave. Our vote is dipped in blood. Our vote is dipped in those that went to their grave. We don't care how long the line. We don't care what you do. We're going to vote not for one candidate or the other, but we're going to vote for a nation that'll stop the George Floyd, that'll stop the Breonna Taylor. And George Floyd was acquitted for the murder. When he was acquitted for the murder of Trayvon Martin, 3 young genius sisters wrote the slogan Black Lives Matter. Hey. And it resonated. Why did it resonate? Because too long you acted like we didn't matter. They said, well, everybody matters, but everybody hasn't mattered the same.
That's right. That's right.
The reason we have to say Black Lives Matter is because we get less health care.
That's right.
Like we don't matter. We go to jail longer for the same crime. Like we don't matter. We get poverty, unemployment, double the others. Like we don't matter. we treated with disrespect by policemen that we pay their salaries, that we don't matter. So we let you know whether we tall or short, fat or skinny, light skin or dark skin, black lives matter. And we let the sister, if she want to hold up her fist, leave her alone. Let me say, as we hear from some of the victims, and as we get ready to march over to the King Memorial, 1963, Dr. King talked about he had a dream. Today, we heard from your dad and his son, Martin Luther King III, his beautiful wife, Andrea, and his granddaughter, Yolanda. And they are in the bloodline, the children and grandchildren of the dream.
Would you mind giving me a call back?
But we come in the same spiritualism. But I want this country to know that even with your brutality, you can't rob us of our dreams. Your bigotry can't rob us of our dreams. Because we've always had the dream.
All right.
Beyond our circumstances.
Thank you, God.
We always had the dream of being what we were not allowed to be. We are the dream keepers, which is why we come today black and white and all races and religions and sexual orientation to say this dream is still alive. You might kill the dreamer, but you can't kill the dream. Because truth, trust the earth shall rise again. We will rise, never to fall again. We will stand up, even when the legs are tired. We will make this dream come true. Let me say this. Let me say this as we close. I want everybody to be orderly. Let me say this. We all should leave here committed to keeping this dream alive. I want everybody that went to the website from National Action Network.net, nationalactionnetwork.net, that wants to help us on election day, be poll watchers to protect our vote. I want you that will be signing up. Early voting starts in 2 weeks. We are a nonpartisan way. Want to put people all over this country. They want to suppress our vote. We've got to have foot soldiers that will protect the vote and that will be out there. Now I want you to say to yourself that you could have been so much more. You had ideas and dreams, not only as a race but as a person. But society had their knee on your neck. We could have developed and been as successful as others, but society had their knee on our neck. But we're not going to lay and submit no more. We're not going to take it. Some have different tactics, but we all are rising up. You will get your knee off our neck. If we gotta vote every day, if we gotta vote every day, we will get your knee off our neck. justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. All right. I want to bring up. I want y'all to back up. I want y'all to bring. To my left is the mother of Breonna Taylor.